Whiskey Jason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have Deanston Highland Single Malt Scotch Whiskey, 2008, 12-year-old PX Cask finish. Ooh, non-chill filtered and no added color. Thank you very much, Deanston, for putting that on your bottle. So this is Whiskybase number 190822. There's a Pedro Jimenez PX cask finish. 2015 bottles in total, and this is a distillery exclusive, which means you either go online and buy the bottle from the distillery like I did. So then they actually put a sticker over the tax stamp from the UK. And then send it to Germany, or you have to be at the distillery. And I hope many, many people will be able to visit the distillery this summer. It is a great experience. I was there in 2019 together with Roy and with Food Quake from Canada. That was just one of my highlights of my tour there, to have a real warehouse tasting and to do all that. 58.1%. 85 pounds, so I paid 115 with shipping and everything included, which is okay. The question is, of course, how long was the finish? And they don't say. If I'm on the website here for at Deanston Malt, I get to go to the distillery exclusives, and they have, first of all, the Chronicle, which I did here, already a video about. We had a recharged hogshead from 2013, was like a little bit young. And there was this bottle here, the 2008 Pedro Jimenez cask finish. It was like, oh, that looks good. And what we have here is our industrious spirit, means we're always inventing and innovating, delivering new surprises every year, from maturation and cast out to sublime finishes. And it says here, depending on who you believe, the Pedro Jimenez PX grape. So we have different types of grapes. We have Palomino, we have the Moscatel, we have the Pedro Jimenez. And the question is, where did it get its name from? Was it a Peter from Germany, a Peter Schmidt, Pedro Jimenez? Was it a Winter, someone who makes wine? Was it a soldier? Was it a cardinal? Or was it even maybe a village? You never know. And the thing is, there was, oh, I do know now. Jason, read the website. It's a 3-year finish. The 3-year Pedro Jimenez cask finish gives this distillery exclusive release detectable fruit notes, and that's what I really liked about this. This was not overpowering. Usually you can take a Pedro Jimenez cask, and so I'm fairly very sure, that's a good word, Jason. I'm fairly sure, I'm almost sure, that this was not a first fill Pedro Jimenez cask. This is a second fill, or maybe even third fill after 3 years here. And it gives enough of that Pedro Jimenez sweetness, those figs, those raisins, that it's detectable, that it's recognizable, that it's there, but it doesn't absolutely delete all the character from Deanston. So 58.1%, which is a beautiful, beautiful cask strength, by the way. And it's got a beautiful nose. It's got a little bit of a chocolate going on here. It's got a little bit of an orange peel going on here. It's got a little bit of a strawberry going on here. This is actually very, very nice. I like. So, the official tasting note says nuts, rich oak, and layers of caramel, beautifully balanced with coffee. Got a little bit of a mocha moment there. Dark chocolate, sultans, figs, and a hint of leather. All right, what am I going to compare it to? I have here a friend of mine, Tom from Oberhausen, another friend of mine, Tom from Whiskey Warehouse number 8. They got together and created TNT Cask, Thomas and Thomas, TNT. And so what they did is they actually bought a whole bunch of sherry octaves and just put spirit in there and just let it set for a very, very short time. And so this was matured in a bourbon barrel and finished in a first fill Pedro Jimenez sherry octave cask. So this is one of 92 bottles only. It's a 9-year-old Glenmorangie, and it's 52.3%. Now, the interesting thing about this was a cask share. Cash share meant a couple years ago I paid 40 euros per bottle, and then after the time was up that it was filled into these octaves, then they were actually bottled, brought over to Germany, all the excise tax was paid, all the things was paid, and so on. And all I had to do was pay delivery for these bottles to be sent to me. And that was 40 euros. Yay! And that's great. And so this was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful experiment to see what's possible. And what we have here is we have Pedro Jimenez and we have Pedro Jimenez. Now this is an octave. This is a season cask. This might not have been, probably was, but who knows. This is an overpowering, I'm going to eliminate the distillery spirit type of finish. And this was a wonderful finish which integrates into the distillery character and creates something that's magnificent. On the nose, very, very nice. So pour a little bit in here. This is so sweet. This is almost like pouring Pedro Jimenez into your whiskey yourself. It's almost overpowering sweet. Even on the nose, it's just that syrupy moment there. Some people love it. Some people don't. I can drink a little bit. It's like pecan pie. One slice is enough. The second slice is too much. A little bit of this is enough. 3 glasses on one evening is just, it's sticky actually. It's a little, it's almost like maple syrup type of sticky moment. All right, over here to the Deanston. I would recommend buying this bottle. If you're at the distillery, you don't know what to buy, I like this much better than I do the Chronicles. There are some other things that are only at the distillery as well that I have not tried. But this has a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful bouquet. And the 58.1% on the nose, not even detectable. On the palate, add a little bit of orange peel, add a tiny little bit of waxiness. The 58.1%, it's there. All right, you cannot deny it. It's got a little bit of that mocha moment going on there. It's got a lot of the I'm going to say that I think that the sherry cask might actually have been European oak. It's got that dark chocolate moment going on. It's a beautiful, beautiful combination of what Deanston can be together with a good Pedro Jimenez finish that's not overwhelming, not overpowering, not totally eliminating the Deanston character, but rather elevating it and making it into something much better. This is great. This is a B whiskey for me. Value for money at the distillery, it's actually a C to C+. Sending over to Germany, it's a C. All right. So what is my grading system? A, why haven't you bought it? B, buy it. Buy it. C, you can buy it if you want to. D, you don't need to buy it. F, why was the stuff even made? Value for money, buy it if you want. Taste, buy it. Oh, this is good. Try it at the distillery. Ask if they have an open bottle. They have little samples there. At least when I was there in 2019, they did before COVID, so I think they might have them again. Who knows? Beautiful, beautiful stuff. This, on the other hand, is just syrupy goodness. The nose is not half as, the nose is twice as good over here. It's just a little bit of syrupy, a little bit of sweet. It's a little bit more of a simplistic note that has more complexity, more depth. It's actually as if I poured some of the Pedro Jimenez into my whiskey and said, ta-da! It's got a great finish, but a little too sweet, a little bit too simple compared to this. This is so much better. All right, question of the day. What is your favorite Pedro Jimenez cask finished product out there? It's malt, single malt. I went through my sample list and I was like, wow, I have like 5 different whiskeys from Ireland at the moment that I've bought in the last half a year that all have Pedro Jimenez finishes on them. It's like, I didn't know that. I only have 2 or 3 that were from Scotland, one of these as well. So in my personal opinion, more distilleries in Ireland at the moment are using Pedro Jimenez than they are in Scotland, which I would never have thought of. Germany uses sometimes their expensive cask. We're paying anywhere between 800 and 1,200 euros for a cask. Pedro Jimenez. I was at a distillery last week here in Germany. They just received a shipment of, I think it was 12 Pedro Jimenez casks. They were all basically 250 liter. I think they were 228, so they're basically barriques more or less. And the very, very interesting thing is they received the casks and it was like, oh, there's a little bit sherry left in there. Swish, swish, swish. And so what they did is they put their nice little bucket underneath there and they poured it out. And there were between 8 and 12 liters of Pedro Jimenez goodness in each and every barrel. 10 barrels, yeah, 120 liters. It's amazing. I tried it. They actually gave me a little glass. That was the best Pedro Jimenez I've ever had. It's like, I want to stay here and just drink the Pedro Jimenez. It was so good. And yeah, imagine you put whiskey in there together, that 10 liters. That's a little bit more. It's like 5% Pedro Jimenez is in there, in the cask. Not just in the wood, in the cask itself. And so they actually poured it out, and they're going to save that for themselves and actually recharge some of their casks there. So beautiful, beautiful thing. Okay, Pedro Jimenez, Deanston, my recommendation of the week so far. Yay, thank you very much for sending it to me, Deanston. Wonderful service, did a great job, was here very, very quickly. The online shop is very nice, and the people at Deanston are beautiful. If you're at Deanston, go to the gift shop, say hi from WhiskyJason, and also have a meal there. Beautiful, beautiful restaurant, great view, great place. I love it. All right, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for liking, subscribing, telling others maybe, even sharing this video. If you're in a Deanston group, hey, share the video and say, hey, Jason said, WhiskyJason said the 2008 Pedro Jimenez is a great grab if you can get it, and I highly recommend it. See you soon. All the best, WhiskyJason. Bye-bye.